Well, partner, we got another great one coming up.
We do.
Another episode that we're going to be talking to some of our officers. Of course, these are a lieutenant and a captain. They're from Radford University.
Yes, sir.
In line with what we've been doing, bringing the universities to our podcast,
yes.
talking to the officers, and so we can get them back to the universities in career services and let the kids see, let the students see that we are recruiting all over this country.
I know that one of the things, the reason of doing this is not only to get back to those universities, but it's also to put more ownership of where we've come from, who we are. And a lot of people just see us as being stoic police officers.
I like that.
But today we have two really good police officers who happen to be graduates of Radford University.
Okay, we're going to start out with our captain. Start out with one of the captains that we have, Kehoe, in our police department. And just give us a little bit about, or introduce yourself to our audience.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good morning.
Doing well.
My name is Tim Kehoe. I'm the administrative staff captain for the police department here.
Okay. All right. How long you been with us?
I've been with Chesterfield County for 26 years.
And you're from where?
I'm from originally Michigan and then moved to Baltimore, and then we moved here in 1993.
Okay. And we're going to go over some of your history of how long you've been on the police department, what some of the assignments that you have. But let's go to Lieutenant Dunn.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
A little bit about you.
Graduated in Radford University in 2004.
Okay.
Originally from Boston, Mass. You guys can probably tell my accent here. I'll try to tone it down. So it was definitely a game changer moving down there to Southwest Virginia.
Okay.
Definitely needed a translator, but I had a great time at Radford University. So I subsequently was there to play golf and study criminal justice.
Okay. All right. Let's start with the captain. Captain, give me a little history on you. I mean, I know you. You always smile. I know you got the cycle. You ride. You in shape. You're doing things. But where are you? Who are you as a police officer in Chesterfield County?
Wow, deep. So this is I'm fairly new as a captain. I got promoted in April. I came out of Vice and Narcotics. I've been there as the lieutenant for the last 4 years. Kind of a varied career here. I spent the bulk of my time as an officer spent in traffic safety. The guy out there writing tickets and harassing motorists, everybody's favorite person. From there, I went to criminal investigations, the Crimes Against Persons unit. I was there for a couple months before I got promoted to sergeant, and then from sergeant, I kind of moved around. I was in patrol. I spent a number of years in our crime prevention section, and then moved from crime prevention to community policing. So a lot of the kind of happy, feel good, a lot of public interaction, which was the stuff that I like.
When you say you were a patrol officer, how long were you when you got out of the academy? How long were you in patrol?
So I did 2 years, a little over 2 years in patrol before I moved to traffic.
So we can't complain.
I can't complain.
I can't complain.
No.
Okay.
What was why?
I was like 18 months.
Okay, I get a lot of. Jeff Barthlow specifically will give me grief about. I worked 6 weeks on the road before I moved to traffic. So
I was about 16 months.
Yeah, about 16.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. LT.
Lieutenant Dan?
Well, I was on the road a little bit longer than you guys.
Right.
I was on the road for I think it was about 4.5 years, 5 years before I went to Vice and Narcotics. I was a detective there for 5 years and then got promoted to a sergeant. Supervised patrol there for 2 years and then set. And then from set, I went to CID. And during CID, I supervised specifically the homicide section. And then out of there, I got promoted to lieutenant. And here recently, I've been assigned as academy director. So my background is mainly investigations, I guess you would say, and so this is a new experience for me dealing with more of the admin type side of police work with the academy.
Cool.
Yeah, and now that you're over the training academy, it's you're not just responsible for training basic recruits, but we have a lot of moving parts over the training academy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dealing with the specialized organizing, specialized training, mandatory in-service, any outside training that we accommodate from other jurisdictions, whatever it may be, along with the pre-certs that we have. We have a growing pre-cert class that's coming in right now, potentially maybe bigger than our basic academy, as well as the PSA, the Police Service Aids class academy that we have running. Generally, right now, we're looking at 9 academies a year between the basics, pre-certs, and the police service aids.
And you just said 9 academies with all of that combined of pre-certs, regular recruits, and the PSA?
Yes, sir. 9 a year, yes. Yep.
And one of the things I think a lot of applicants, even internally in the police department, we look at the training academies in one physical location.
Right.
But you're actually responsible for 3 or 4 locations. I mean, you have a training academy. We have an E9 driving range. We have an E9 firing range.
Right. Yes, sir.
You have the ammunitions bunker you're responsible for. You have Safety Town that you help participate in. So it's a huge geographical area.
Huge, and I did not know that before I got transferred. But no, yeah, it's. I mean, it's my experience over there just in the past couple of months is. It's been great. Definitely learning a whole different side of police work, and making me a more fully rounded supervisor, so I can give back to the community as well as the police officers here that work for the.
I'm gonna pick your brains for a moment. I got a young recruit. We were at Radford, we were at other universities recruiting. What would you tell young kids in the class to prepare for the academy?
Well, the great thing about Radford University is that they certainly prepared me for the position that I had today and the classes that I took back then. We had a lot of great instructors, a lot of great professors, a lot of hands-on type professors. It wasn't just all classroom type material. They made it interesting. In all honesty, that's why I stuck with police work, because the instructors that I had back then were able to kind of draw into the things that were going on with society then and the outlook of police officers and how much of an impact do we have not only to protect the citizens, that we can help the citizens and be part of the community. So it's them as instructors that caused me, subsequently led me to police work here today. But as a young officer, the young student that's in there right now, is don't be afraid to reach out to the professor with any questions. Feel free, be open-minded and understanding. Police work has evolved through the past couple of years. We've certainly become a lot more community organized, which has been great. So pay attention, obviously, to the instructors. Feel free to reach out to them, and as well as reach out to maybe the department that you protected or not protected, but you may think that you want to go to someday, and start getting that ball rolling there a little bit, what their requirements are and so forth, and how you can better yourself and prepare that way.
Awesome.
And Captain Kehoe, how was your experience at Radford?
It was great. I loved it.
Did you love the classes or did you love the environment?
Best 8 years of my life.
He's not lying.
No, I really did. I mean, for me, it was, I applied at a few other schools coming from, at the time I was living in Baltimore. My dad actually had just moved to Richmond, was living in Richmond like during the week and then coming home the weekends. So I thought about VCU, but Richmond was a different, we're talking going back to the early 90s. Richmond was a different place back then. So I went to visit Radford and just loved it. The campus size, I made lifelong friends there. I mean, obviously the best thing for me with Radford was that's where I met my wife. So I don't want to get beat for not saying that. But no, just the class sizes that, like Matt said, the professors there. I mean, I have, many professors that, I remember the first Dr. County, who was my intro to criminal justice professor, was probably the first one that, like, I took his class and was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. And it's just, he was one of those professors who he'd been a police officer, had some real world experience and could relate that to what we were learning, and that was huge.
I know we used to work with Dr. Burke, Dr. Todd Burke, and he was a former police officer and had that experience, and the academic background was absolutely excellent, and all the students loved him.
And we have so many officers on our police department from Radford, which we have that recruiting, as you speak from Radford. But give me a little bit. Policing wasn't your first love.
No, I started out as a radio TV major, like mass communications. I wanted to go into radio, but
I could see you doing that.
Yeah, I could too. Honestly,
that's good. Thank you. No, I couldn't get the classes. I mean, obviously, my freshman year trying to get classes, took a few, but it was just hard to get the core classes that I really wanted to. That I think that would have really pushed me in that direction more. And then at the time, my brother he's a couple years older than me. He just gotten a job as a police officer. I was talking to him quite a bit. And my family history is kind of like we have a lot of some kind of a law enforcement background, but I grew up with knowing, police officers all over the area where I lived in Michigan. And so I decided to take the intro class, and it just clicked. It was like, this is what I want to do. So,
Matt, how about you, Lieutenant Dunn?
I got recruited by Radford to play golf. I know, don't laugh.
You can play golf.
The only thing I knew is that I wanted to get out of Boston. I wanted to get away from the snow.
Oh, wow.
So I knew I wanted to come down south somewhere, and I had also been recruited, looked into playing baseball too as well. So Radford was kind of the last chances I had to be able to play golf and go forth with golf. And so family came down, I signed up, dropped me off one day, and left the following day, and been here since, stuck in Virginia.
They didn't come back?
He has
just to visit it once in a while.
He has seen them since then.
Yes, I have.
I was going to ask you, family come down and see you?
But just like Captain Keogh, I met my wife at Radford University.
Okay.
I was there for 5 years because playing sports for golf, we were limited for the classes we can take in the afternoon.
See, I like that. See, I told people as a scholarship person, they give you 5 years to graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, everybody talk about, man, you was in the college. Average person graduates in 5 years, really, especially athletes. Yeah. Elliott.
Right.
Yeah. Plus, I want to take as much time as there as possible. And figure out, So, my wife's uncle actually worked for Chesterfield Police Department.
Oh, okay.
So my original goal was to go down to Florida and try to further my golf career.
Sure.
But in speaking with him, he was a detective here at the time, back actually in personnel, David Zehab.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my wife's uncle. So he kind of got me associated with Chesterfield and introduced me to several members, and I really enjoyed the community, meeting some people. So I figured I would look into it, knowing having my background in law enforcement and criminal justice, I should say, and started the process. The rest is history. I've been here for 17 years now. Yeah.
Now, how do your family back home feel about Chesterfield County? I know they come visit you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, they just left this morning, but no, they love it down here. So they do come down and visit me. Okay. But no, they love it. They love the weather coming down here, certainly in the fall and the springtime, get away from the cold weather up there in Boston. But they really enjoy it down here, and they enjoy the community. I'm proud of the community. Being from Boston, we can be tough people to get along with a little bit. We're kind of,
True.
But being down here, I've been able to open up a little bit. A lot of great friends, a lot of great people in the police department.
Right.
I've met through the years, the 17 years. But I'm proud to say not only do I work for the community, or the department, but I'm a member of the community.
Good.
My kids go to schools here in Chesterfield County. We love it's a very it's a county that offers a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Right. Yeah.
We have northern part, which a lot of the business and so forth. We also have the rural parts of Chesterfield County. It's certainly a growing area. So we find a lot of positive living in the area, and we truly like it down here. Plus, it doesn't really snow that much. So.
Right.
Yeah. Snow's a big factor for the people from the north.
Yeah, it snows in Radford, I'll tell you that. But.
Yeah.
Yes.
Captain, what about you, your family, and coming from Michigan, and I know your parents then moved here to Richmond area, but coming from Michigan, living there, seeing the environment here, the community here, do you see a difference?
Oh yeah. I mean, my brother just retired after, probably, I don't think he had close to 30 years in law enforcement. Seeing what he's seen over the years, we still go back and visit him as much as we can. But yeah, just the community, and again, going from Michigan to Baltimore, I still have my wife's family, some of her family's in Baltimore. But just living here, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. I mean, it's just that, like Matt said, the community here, and especially as a law enforcement agency, we are extremely blessed here in the county to have support. The overwhelming majority of the people that we serve support us and appreciate us and respect us, and it's hard to find these days.
Yeah, and again, being you both are in administration now, what do you see when you first became officers in Chesterfield? Now that you're doing the administrative part, do you see how important it is to see both sides of the spectrum of being a patrol officer, being part of the unit, being part of the group, but now in administration? Can you share a little bit to our students about that, or our community about that?
I think one thing for students who are looking into law enforcement, I think one thing would be to really be involved, especially on a college campus. It's easy to be involed with, whether it's
fraternity.
Greek. I mean, I'm Sigma Chi from. I was Sigma Chi. My wife was a Zeta. But it's easy to be involved with campus organizations. But if you have the opportunity to be involved with community organizations, I think that's better, because it gives you that. When you get hired somewhere, you go to whatever agency you choose, you've got that outlook of how those roles kind of coexist, how you can be part of the community, as a student, serving in the community, working with the community, and then coming into a law enforcement agency where you do the same thing.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I think, we look for the totality of the person.
Exactly.
When we're hiring people, not just where they're from, who their parents are, and what education they have. We want people who are engaged in the community. We expect that out of our officers.
Absolutely.
And we'd like to see that out of our applicants.
Now, we spoke to a couple of the administrative folks at the academy when we did one podcast. And they talked about some of the progression that you go through to be a police officer, going through the training and all that stuff. What are you seeing over there now, Lieutenant, that we can encourage our students to say, okay, here's what you're going to be expected to be able to do when you join the police department, when you first get into that academy, the yelling at them, the military, paramilitary lifestyle. Right. Can we share a little bit of that?
Sure. Yeah. We operate a paramilitary style academy. Currently, right now, the academy is 32 weeks, which is, some think it's a little bit long, but we go above and beyond what our DCGS requirements are, because we want to make sure that when the recruit graduates from our academy, that they have fully rounded. There's nothing that they're going to experience on the road that they haven't experienced in the academy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We have the instructors that we have in Chesterfield County are outstanding. The organization of how we put the classes together, who's teaching them, where do they fall in the realm of the graduates, certainly has an impact on all of them. And when they leave, they're fully prepared and that there's no questions asked as they get ready for that FTO, as they start FTO, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We tell the recruits that our academy, when we're recruiting, it is physically grueling and psychologically stressful when you start.
Right.
You're not hazed. Mm-hmm. We feel like if you can't deal with stress in a controlled environment, you will not function when it is uncontrolled. And our academy does a great job of prepping them for that uncontrolled mayhem.
Yes. Of course, because everyone handles stress different.
Yes.
Right.
And our training officers do an outstanding job. They're able to identify which officers and how they handle particular stress. So they're able to work with them and teach them, say, hey, listen, if this were to occur, this is obviously a high stress situation. This is what you want to look out for. A lot of them get kind of tunnel vision because they've never really experienced some of that stress they've had in their life.
Right.
So our training officers will make sure they put through this and explain everything. Everything we do over there, there's a rhyme and reason to it.
Yes.
We just don't do it just to do it. You know what I'm trying to say? We do it for a particular reason to make sure that they improve, that they learn from this. And a lot of the situations that we do, we've increased our judgmental use of force scenarios that we've done. We've done it not only with the police officers, but now we do a lot more with the recruits too. So Corporal Cuniff does an outstanding job, as well as Training Officer Johnson, organizing these judgmental use of force situations. So we're putting situations that officers have occurred on the road, we're giving it to the recruits to say, hey, listen, this actually occurred on the road. This isn't a situation where we just made up. This is what occurred. And we're going to put them through it and see how they react.
So that really hands-on.
Yes, sir.
You're getting hands-on on the experience of what's going on in our community today.
Right, and it's great because the training officers actually, they want feedback from the recruit. They encourage the recruit, hey, what are you thinking at this point? Why did you do this? Not, hey, you messed up. They want to know what their perspective is.
Okay.
Because as administrators, we can kind of fall into the realm of things of a little bit looking outside in and Monday morning quarterback a lot of stuff, right? Yep. Hey, but we don't always see it in perspective that they may have seen it. So we garner their response and want to make sure that they did something for a reason, that they understood why they did it, and this is why.
You see the lieutenant. He getting into it.
Oh yeah,
he got his gestures going on, man, and all that. But now we always talk about the hobbies after law enforcement. I mean, when we get off, we don't want to be thinking about, man, I got a case I got to come up. So what do you do to relax? I start with you, Captain. What do you do to? Well, I'm scared to start with the captain.
And we bring this up because
I can't compete with him over there.
I'm scared.
Biking 50 miles a day is out over there.
But we bring this up because we have a wellness and fitness coordinator works over the academy. Yes. It's one of our colonel's initiatives for well over a year now on mental well-being of our officers and our civilian staff. Right. So, what do you do to alleviate stress from the job?
Exactly.
So I think
we can air.
I think that's the one of the cool things about my current assignment is that Cody Johnson, our wellness coordinator, falls under. She's my only direct report. So having involvement with that program is awesome. I mean, seeing that what we as an agency have done with wellness for not just officers but department wide. Right. Mental, physical, all that. Financial wellness is we're treading. Leading the way on what other agencies are going to pick up from what we've done. So for me, obviously a lot of people know I'm a triathlete. I've done several Ironmans, but running and biking, lately biking, that's my stress relief.
Good.
Get out and whether it's, and I tell people, like, for recruiting wise, especially people into mountain biking. Pocahontas State Park, we have some of the most beautiful trails across the Commonwealth in our own county. So huge benefit.
Lieutenant?
I just enjoy kicking Daryl's butt on the golf course.
And he is good.
No, I mean, I enjoy going to the gym. Sure. I'm not a big biker. I'm not like Captain Key. I can't, But I go to the gym every night. That's my kind of stress reliever.
Okay.
And then aside, I play golf, obviously.
Right.
And just enjoy playing sports with my kids. They're actively involved. I have 2 little ones right now, so they're involved in sports too. So that keeps us quite busy.
And your families are very supportive of what you all are doing.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
And that means a lot. I mean,
yes, sir.
Being in law enforcement for the years that we have participated in this job, support from your family is very important.
Of course,
of course. Have to have it.
Right. And as Captain Keogh mentioned, we do have that wellness coordinator, Cody Johnson, and she's heavily involved in the applicants once they accept to attend Chesterfield Basic Academy.
Yes.
She starts reaching out to them and start coordinating. Make sure, hey, we all know not everyone's physically fit before they can start the academy.
Right.
So she reaches out to them, and they have training, and she performs tasks with them, make sure that they're squared away when they start day one of the academy. So we've seen a lot of positive results from that.
Oh, wow.
A lot of great results from
the recruit readiness program.
She does an
program.
She does an outstanding job. And we've seen a lot of positive results from the recruits, a lot of compliments from them.
Good. That's good.
That's good. Well, as we're about to wrap up a little bit, can you give us anything that we can take back that we haven't spoke about to our kids, to our students, other than just being ready?
I think one thing, if you really, truly, if you're looking into law enforcement, you want to stay in the Commonwealth, Chesterfield is the place to be.
Right.
I mean, hands down. I applied at a few other places, and thank the good Lord that Chesterfield was one of the first ones to give me an offer. And I had an offer from one other place and was waiting on another. And my background investigator called me, and I was actually at my brother's house when they called and gave me the offer, and I jumped all over it.
Yeah, but Captain, you have seen the progress. You have seen Chesterfield grow.
Oh yeah, very much. Yeah. I mean, we've been here. We've been here a little bit longer than I have.
Tell about it.
But no, the growth. I mean, this is really this is the place to be. Everything we're doing, from not just the leadership. I mean, we have phenomenal leadership from top down, but again, the interaction with the community and the opportunities to grow. I mean, again,
it's a young department.
Yeah, I mean, and there aren't a lot of places where you can go where you can say, hey, I was on the road for a year and a half, 2 years, 2.5 years before I was able to move into a specialty assignment. A lot of places I was on the road 6 years, and then I finally got into investigations, and we don't.
And we do hear that on when we were.
And I just saw we had some policies come out last week that we've added another
layer,
secondary assignment list to. So we're up to like 24, 25 or something like that now.
Crazy.
A lot of opportunity.
Yeah. No, it's great. I'm very proud to be a member of the community and the police department.
Right.
I only applied for one police department because this is where I knew I wanted to go.
Sure.
I thought about going back up the north and maybe looking to law enforcement then, but I knew I wanted to stay down over here. Sure. And, through the years of interacting with other police departments up north, I mean, everyone knew Chesterfield County.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, everyone knew Chesterfield County. So we have a great name. And as Captain Keogh said, we have great leadership from the top down, and that we've seen provide the support for the officers that we need, especially during the past year or so. It's been a difficult time.
Exactly.
For the student that's kind of hesitant about coming to law enforcement, come to Chesterfield, meet our staff, come do a ride along, speak to members of the academy, and you won't be amiss not coming to do it and seeing it.
Exactly.
And get the experience. But come talk to you gentlemen, and we'll give you
the tour.
Good opportunity.
Yep.
Exactly.
And we'll be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. And we bring it in, and again, I can't say our quality of candidates or applicants that we're bringing in are absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
That are actually getting hired. And we do be able to weed out some of the people that shouldn't be here, and we have done that. Our colonel has done that, and the administration has done an excellent job in that. Well, partner, again, boy, we had another good one.
Yeah, really good. Radford University, like we said initially, has been a good partner for us. They've cranked out a lot of good applicants. But every time we go there, they open the door.
Yes,
they make themselves available to recruiters. They are serious about wanting their graduates to have jobs. And it's really nice to work with.
Exactly. And we do want to thank our guests. Thank you, guys. I appreciate
thank you both.
Thank
we
you.
really appreciate it.
And hopefully we can continue this and bringing in some of the officers from different universities throughout our police department. And giving the kids an idea of what we have and what we have to offer in Chesterfield County Police Department.
That's right. Well, we'd like to thank our listeners for listening today and welcome our new listeners to the podcast. In the future, if you're interested in following us, please check us out on all of our social media accounts, as well as applying at joinccpd.org.
All right.
We thank you very much. And I'd also like to thank Officer Stooley and Officer Rizzuti for doing our sound engineering and making this happen for us.
Always, always.
Go Highlanders.